Welcome to episode 48 of the Twig Snapper Podcast. Today I'm joined by Daunte Fortner. How are you doing tonight?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Can't complain. Almost Friday. It's the best part of the week for a college student.
Right, for sure.
And then for you guys too. Games, weekends, exciting part of the week. Obviously, the part you prep for and everything.
Right, game day tomorrow. Just got off the ice actually. So
Who do you guys play?
Aurora.
All right, this will be posted after you guys play Aurora, but just for curiosity. Before we dive into Marian, we'll get into all of that. We'll talk about last year, this year, everything. Let's just talk about your high school juniors, all of that. You played 48 games at Kingsford. You had 115 points. You played in the SJHL, the NAL, the MJHL, and then the NCDC. Yeah. So I guess I don't know where you want to start. If you want to just start with high school and then talk about how you got into your first junior situation or how you want to tackle it.
So I guess my junior year of high school, I'm a 2000. So actually my senior year, I took off for juniors. I was drafted late by Corpus, and then their head coach actually got fired in the summer. So I ended up going there for main camp, but it didn't work out. And then I got a call from the Humboldt Broncos. And that was kind of like my first eye-opening experience, like junior hockey, I guess, because not knowing much about it, kind of coming from the area I'm from. So I went up there, and obviously that was the year after their bus crash. So they had a lot of media and stuff going around the team. So I was there for a while, a couple months, and I actually got traded close to Christmas to LaRange. So then I finished the season off in LaRange there.
And then the following year, is that where you spent? You were with 3 different NAL teams and then an MJHL team. So you were on 4 different teams in 2019-20.
Right. Yeah. So you guys want to come in quick?
Who's it?
Come on in. These are my roommates who play with me too. So this is
What's going on?
Is
this the pod?
How's it going?
We're recording right now. Yeah. So this is Mateo Pecchia and James Nee.
A couple other Marian guys.
Yeah, these are my roommates. But
Awesome. How you guys doing?
Not too bad.
not too
First practice.
Yeah, awesome. Like to hear it. You guys ready for this weekend?
Of course.
You betcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyways, where were we again?
We were talking about your time. You like 3 different NAL teams, and then you went to another team.
Yes, I finished LaRange, and I was like, it was our right spot. It was way up there, and I was like a top guy there, I guess. But I was like, I think I always kind of tried cracking the NAL. It was like my main goal because I saw like a lot of the commits coming out of the NAL. So then I got drafted again. Or no, I didn't get drafted in my 19 year. I got called by Lone Star, and they're like, don't talk to anyone else kind of thing, whatever. And then I came to main camp, and, they traded me out of Maine, or like after preseason, went through preseason, they traded me to Jamestown. And I played there for a few months, and then the team there was kind of just a mess. I mean, the team wasn't very good. Coaches were switching up, and things were kind of crazy, and I eventually got released from that team. And then I was like, all right, I'm going to go to Canada, back up to Canada. And then another NAL team gave me a call, and they're like, we want to see you. And then that's kind of how I went down there again. And then they're like, whatever. So, and then I ended up going to the MJ. So, and I think
it was kind of a hectic stretch of
it was
time there. You just couldn't just find a place to settle down. Everyone just kept moving you around.
Yeah, junior's just a cutthroat league and stuff. So,
yeah, definitely. I mean, it's like that, I guess. And other than college, pretty much if you're putting in the work and producing on your team, you're safe. But like once you get to the pros, obviously the SP, the ECHL, I mean, there's guys that are just getting booted and bounced all over the place.
Exactly. Yeah. So I went to
brutal business.
It is, yeah. So then I feel like in Canada, though, it's a little more, they don't like cut as many guys because you actually have to sign in those Canadian leagues.
So you were a little bit safer up there?
Yeah, it's not that I was safer up there. I think the league that I went to was it was lower from the null, I guess, but similar in ways.
Yeah.
I
You're
went up,
still playing hockey, so.
yes, I went up there and played a top six role my 19 year. And then I was like, then my 20 year was COVID. So Canada was not playing at all. And then I found myself another call from a few null teams, but the NCDC and some null teams were, it was weird the COVID year because some null teams were playing, some weren't. It was like really on and off with the teams. It was like weekend to weekend almost. And when I heard about the NCDC, they were doing a Florida bubble actually. So I was just like, I want to play hockey. Like I know there's a lot of guys sitting at home like during this time. I just want to keep playing. So what the NCDC did was they took all their guys from the league and the teams, and we went down to right outside Tampa, Florida, and we stayed at a resort with all the teams, and we finished, I think we played 25 games down there. So that was a pretty cool experience.
And had you committed yet, or were you still waiting
I
at
was
that time?
still waiting. Yeah.
Okay, so when did the offer from Marian come?
So the offer, man, I was talking to a handful of D3 teams in the Midwest, and I guess I probably when I was down in Florida towards the end, I started talking to a lot of teams. But the offer came through, I think, had to been May, June. So yeah.
And what made Marian stand out over your other offers? You know, like why'd you pick Marian?
Well, they in 2021 they actually won the conference championship, so for the league. So that was something that I thought was really good about the program. And I kind of looked at the rosters, and I'm just comparing rosters and players kind of at that point. And then the schooling it's a small school, and it's a cheaper school. Plus, I'm close to home, so that's another plus. I feel like in junior hockey, where I was in Texas, New York, Florida, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, it was nice to be, it's nice to be 3 hours away from home. So.
Right, your parents, your family, they can come to games. I'm sure you can buzz home when you're not too busy with hockey, and
Right.
you know, it makes it a little bit easier. All right, so let's dive into Marian now. We'll talk about the first year. You know, you played 10 games, you had 1 assist, kind of get a little taste of college hockey. You know, what was it like for you starting off? I mean, was it hard to adjust coming out of juniors, or do you feel like you kind of figured it out pretty easily?
I thought I figured it out pretty easily. I think that it depends on the team each year. Like last year, we had 31 guys, and kind of how our coach had it set up was difficult because our coach kind of I don't want to say rotated in players, but depending like how you did it, didn't really, as a freshman, I guess it like wasn't affecting if you were going to play that lineup unless you were like really up there with the top 6 guys. I feel like.
So it was hard to consistently
Yeah,
get in the lineup and play,
right.
you know.
Yeah, unless you're putting a goal in the net, or you're really like putting in the work out there. It was hard to get in the lineup, and and towards the end of the year, when teams find a click, they kind of stay with that click. Also, it didn't help last year. I got COVID right after Christmas, so I was out for 2 weeks, and the team kind of had a lineup, and then they ran with that for a while. So
yeah, that's tough when you get separated. You're out of the loop for 2 weeks. You're out of you can't show them anything. You can't work at anything. You're just
right.
exiled from everyone. So then going into this year, you've played 19 games so far. You've got 11 points. You're 4th on the team. Obviously, you found some footing. You found some success. Do you think just getting into some games last year helped you, coming into this year?
Yeah, for sure. I think the experience did. Like playing on our home rink, we have an Olympic sheet, so it's a little different style actually than playing at away games too. So getting those games in last year definitely did help.
Yeah, you guys, you started off this year in the first with your first college Your first college goal in the first game, and you guys also won. So it's kind of like a triple going there. You had your first game of the year. You guys win. You also get your first college goal. So let's talk about that goal. Everyone remembers their first goal, especially their first college goal.
Yeah, so I guess preseason, we'll go back a week or two. We had preseason, we played St. Mary's, we beat them 4-2, and I was in the second unit power play, and I think we scored on that power play. So it kind of, they went with that into week one. My first goal came off the power play. I was on my right side, and there was a loose puck in the corner. It was kind of jammed up. I got it. I just basically walked top circle and just shot it low glove and ended up going in. So
what was going through your mind? Like when it went in, were you just ecstatic?
I was just like, finally, the first one, get the monkey out. Now, time to
right,
go.
Little bit of pressure off your back. You
Right.
feel like you can breathe a little bit because you broke the ice. You scored.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you guys win the game too. To start off the year, everything was going
Right.
pretty good.
Right.
You guys also beat Adrian earlier this year, and that's they're one of the top D3 teams, one of the top programs. They won the national championship last year. So going into that game, what were you guys thinking going into that series?
It's kind of like in the conference we're in is kind of like anyone can beat anyone, even though we're ranked differently. Depends on who wants to come out tonight and play. Like for that game, we knew we were going up against Adrian, and we were just like, we can beat these guys. And I feel like that was the same thing last week with St. Norbert. We're like, we don't care. Like, let's get up for the game instead of playing maybe like a Lawrence or a weaker team where we play down to their level. For us here at Marian, like we get up for those games and then we end up actually doing really good.
Yeah, you guys split with them. What was the score of the one you beat them? Do you remember? Like 5-2 or something, or
3.
5-3?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you guys had a nice little 2-goal cushion there for the win, and
Exactly.
going into like the third period, were you guys nervous at all? Like, oh crap, this team is good. Like, we can't just like let our foot off the gas.
Right. That's what our coach said, I think, going into the second and third. He was like, just because we're up doesn't mean we can sit back and just, we're up against a good team. Let's play defense. Like, we got to stay thinking offense and keep pressuring them.
Yeah, exactly. That's where those good teams get a lot of people. They'll start to get comfortable where they're at, and then the good team just, claws back and
get one power play goal, and they're right back in the game. So
right, exactly. And that's the other thing, your coach probably telling you, like, don't do anything stupid, boys. We've got a chance here to take down the top dogs.
Right.
Literally. So your biggest game, I'd have to say, would be against Gustavus Adolphus. You had 4 assists. You were just feeding guys all night, I guess. Talk about that. Were you just in the right place at the right time for some of them, or were you guys just setting things up right?
I feel like, so before Christmas this year, it was like we had a new coach, obviously. So he's trying to find a role for everyone, and the lines up until Christmas were kind of everywhere, I would say. After Christmas, we kind of got set in stone with a few guys and play with Jack Sampson and my roommate James Nee, and we kind of finally got some chemistry going. And that game kind of set us up for, I feel like, the next 6 games that we had and that we've been winning. So us 3 together have been doing really well, and it seemed to work. So
yeah, and you had to have been happy with your production, putting up a 4-point night's always nice. Give yourself a little pat on the back, a little, success.
Good win too. We won that was the Superior Showdown weekend, so we took home that trophy.
Yeah, it's always nice to take home any hardware, no matter when in the season it is. You gotta take what you can get. It doesn't matter if it's just a little tournament in the middle of the season or if it's the national championship. Any hardware is
Right.
Good stuff, obviously. Your guys' last 4 games, they've been grind out games. You guys have had 2 ties, an overtime win, and then a 1-0 game. You guys have just been battling your last 4 games. Let's talk about that stretch. Just every game. Obviously, the teams you're playing too, they're battling if you're tying and overtime and just 1-0. So let's just talk about this stretch. You guys played Lawrence and St. Norbert in that 4-game stretch?
Lawrence, St. Norbert, St. Norbert. So, I mean, I feel like, just like I said, like any game can go either way, kind of. Like Lawrence being, I guess, a weaker team this year. Like they still get up for the games, and when they're like we go to their barn, there's a small barn, and they're hitting like it's more of a physical, mental game. Like you got to learn how to, I guess, play smarter, like and roll off with the hits and like conserve energy for like later in the game. Like that's what happens. Like I think we were up actually 4-2 in the third, and they ended up scoring 2, and they scored 1 with 5 seconds left. So that brought us right to OT there in Lawrence. But
that's a backbreaker when they score, that close to the end of the game, or the end of the period. Well, yeah, end of the game if it was the third. I mean, that's just like that's a killer.
Yeah. So, but we pulled out with the win, which was huge. And then this weekend, we knew we had Norbs again. It was in their barn, small barn, and they're physical, like they're fast team, chip pucks, and they're just all like down your throat, like. So, for us to like stay with them and like push back towards them, I think that's why we won those games.
Yeah. Well, and teams have got to know if you guys have an Olympic sheet of ice that you're not used to playing on that smaller ice, so they can use that to their advantage against you guys, play that physical game, and, make these games a little bit tighter.
Right. And I think we actually came up more physical than they did against them. So that kind of like reversed on them. And
yeah, you guys pulled out the old Uno reverse card and
but I mean the Norbs games were really tight. Like we scored 5 minutes left in the third to win that second game, so 1-0.
Yeah. I mean, those games are brutal games. When you're just battling and you can't get anything to go, and you win 1-0. Obviously, you're happy with that, but
yeah,
obviously it's just a grind out throughout the whole game.
Right.
And obviously their goalie and your goalie both had to have played well. If it was just a 1-0 game, everyone's standing on their head, not brick wall.
For sure, yeah.
So you guys, to finish out the year here, you've got Aurora, Finlandia, and Lake Forest. Finlandia's obviously they're not awesome this year, but they're the same kind of, I think, as Lawrence. Where every once in a while they can step up and they can play. Aurora, they're pretty solid this year, and Lake Forest, again, they're the same kind of thing as Finlandia. So, looking where you guys are at now and with your final couple of series here, what do you think you guys can do? And, what are the expectations here going into the end of the year?
Well, Aurora's number one in our conference right now, so they're going to be our biggest, like, I guess, competitor for this next. So, we got to get a win out of that at least, maybe a tie, a win and a tie or something, because we're trying to really push the rankings right now. Even after those Norbs wins, I feel like we didn't really jump up too far in the rankings.
Yeah,
but,
so a little bit more would help.
Right, so that's going to play a big factor. And then Finlandia is kind of like the same thing as a Lawrence. Like they're going to come, it's in their barn. Like I think they tied Lawrence, or they beat Lawrence.
They lost to Lawrence, and then they beat them like 6-5 the next night or something.
Right. And so it's like it's gonna be like, it depends how the game goes, but like we just gotta like play like hard again too. And then Lake Forest, they just beat, who did they just? I think they just beat Adrian. They split with Adrian.
Yeah.
Oh, the rest of these games, I mean, none of them are going to be easy.
No, definitely not. I mean,
really, I'm the conference ladder right now, so we can get a better position for playoffs. I think we're sitting in 7th right now, 6th or 7th.
Yeah.
Lake Forest is either 6th or we're 7th. It's maybe flip flop, but the next 6 games are really going to play a factor in who we have for playoffs coming up.
Yeah, it'll be a crucial couple of tests, and then like you're talking about Finlandia and Lawrence, like, you guys might be better on paper, but those games are kind of trap games. You don't want to go in there like thinking you're all high and mighty, and because then they, like you said, in your conference, everyone can kind of play with everyone, at least on some nights. I mean, yeah, Finlandia got their butt whooped by Adrian when they played them, but obviously they played tight with Lawrence, and you guys played tight with Lawrence. So I mean, it all goes. And then I've been looking at different teams and their schedules, and you see, like, I think Finlandia, they play the Milwaukee School of Engineering this weekend, and they've got a solid record. But then you look, and like, I think Lawrence or one of those teams, they split with Milwaukee, but obviously Lawrence is having a down year, so everyone's kind of splitting on some of these weekends, and anyone can take it.
Yeah, that's why these last 6 games are going to be crucial for where we line up for conference play, for who we get first in playoffs.
Right, and I guess records too don't mean a ton. Obviously, you want to have a good record, but like when everyone in your team or in your conference is capable of bringing the heat each night and splitting weekends, then teams are going to have maybe a few more losses because it's a competitive league.
Right. So yeah, conference games are the most important for sure. Like, even though we won that Superior Showdown, there's no conference points, so like, that's not gonna boost us up in the rankings.
Right. No, that was just like something nice to get a little hardware, but it doesn't really, like you said, help you in the rankings. It's just kind of like a morale booster, maybe some momentum. Or you guys, I'm a big uniform guy. Like, I love uniforms, hockey jerseys, everything. You guys have some pretty, like, the black jerseys, they're kind of sweet, I think.
Like, I think I like the white ones better. The white helmets with the white.
Yeah, I mean, those are kind of crisp. I don't know. I just like the black one. Like, you have that post on your Instagram where it's like the lights are off and you've got your shield, and like, that's just, it looks sweet in the dark with the black and then the blue, and like, I don't know. There's just something about it. I think that kind of like a sleek black look. And
I guess lights out there and stuff like that.
Yeah, maybe it's just the picture that makes it look a little bit sweeter, but I don't know. I'm always like looking at jerseys, and I mean, sometimes I just like to root for a team if they have nice jerseys. It doesn't matter, who they are or whatever. But what's your favorite thing to do with the boys when you're not playing hockey? Like, what do you guys do if you get a little break from hockey?
Fall, spring, we'll golf, or sometimes I'll take a trip up north and I'll go hunting bring a couple buddies from here, and I'll go hunting with buddies from home. So,
what do you hunt? Deer, small game, goose?
Small game, partridge during that time, because deer season's in the middle of our prime season. So.
I suppose, yeah. You probably haven't deer hunted in years then.
Years, yeah. But early in the fall, I can maybe a weekend or two and go bird hunting. So that's always nice.
Yeah, I love bird hunting. It's one of the best things to do in the fall. I didn't get to bird hunt at all this year. I was just too busy with classes, and it kind of sucked because I just love getting out there. You get the crisp fall air, and
break from school. So
yeah, it's nice to just get out in the woods for a little bit, clear your head, and take a break. Who's the best golfer on the team? Is it you or somebody else?
No, not me. I'm not very good at golf, but we actually have a golf team here too at Marian.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I see that a lot with like D3, people dual sporting and play hockey and golf, or I've seen some, it's hockey and lacrosse or different things that people dual sport. It's kind of a benefit of going to a D3 school. If you're really into two sports, maybe you can do both of them. You're not gonna, I mean, you see some guys dual sport in D1, but it's usually, you can't do it if you play hockey. It's like, you football and baseball or something like that. Maybe football and track.
Yeah, the D1 hockey season is definitely a little longer than the D3, but I think he'll start up within the next 2 months here. So
he'll be doing both at the same time.
No, so we'll finish up and then he'll go.
Okay. Otherwise, as I say, that'd be a lot if you were on the golf team and the hockey team at the same time.
Yeah. So I mean, he's got a short season, so they don't do quite as much.
Yeah, definitely. What's your favorite food?
I guess steak. Go with
just steak. Nothing crazy.
Nothing crazy. Yeah.
Do you have a pregame meal, or do you guys just?
Yeah.
It depends on where you're at.
Depends where we're at. If we're on the road, like, we'll probably get spaghetti or chicken. But I guess at home I'll make myself chicken and rice.
Yeah. Pretty standard pregame stuff.
Standard, yeah, little vegetables and maybe a salad. But
Where's your favorite restaurant when you guys are on the road?
on the road, favorite restaurants. Oh, I don't know. I would say the one we went to Superior Showdown, they have a really good pasta place. So the one we always get that before our games, and we stop and we kind of sit down and relax, like on our way there. So
Yeah. Where do you guys eat when you're up in Hancock playing Finlandia?
I don't know. We didn't go last year. I was freshman last year, so they were.
Oh. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. So you don't know where you're eating yet? It's too far in advance.
Oh yeah.
I know the Trine hockey team. They were at Applebee's. I was there one night, and the whole team came in, and they were all eating like that broccoli chicken Alfredo or whatever. The whole team got it. That's
For the
what
game.
they were eating. I think it was like a Saturday Sunday series, and they were there on a Friday night.
Oh, okay, yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. What kind of music do you like? Do you have pump up music, your chill music?
Yeah, I got some pump up music, I guess, like Suicide Boys and some other ones, but I like country music too, like
modern country, classic country. What kind of country we talking?
really like the new stuff for sure.
Oh man, can't do the new stuff. I don't know. I don't like modern country. It sounds too much like something you'd hear on Y2K or pop or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. I like everything. So
yeah, I mean, you like rock and stuff too, or just country and rap?
not a rock guy.
Not a rock guy.
Yeah.
All right. So what are your future plans? You're in what are you in, secondary education or?
Yep.
So do you want to be a teacher? Or?
Yeah, I'm looking to be a teacher. So
would you play hockey if you could, like if the opportunity arose?
yeah, that's the goal. Like play pro for a little bit and then come back.
Yeah.
Come
so
back.
What do you want to teach? Like what grades? What subjects?
I have no idea yet. It's too early to
You haven't figured that out yet?
figure it out yet. I still got
I mean, do you want to be in like middle school, like high school? Like, do you even know that yet or no?
Well, yeah, middle school, high school.
Yeah, you don't want to deal with like little kids or.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, I mean, a lot of guys come out of D3 playing pro, so that'd be awesome if you could do that. More Youpers in the pro system. That's what we need.
Yeah, for sure. That's the main goal. So.
Yeah, right. And you've got what? Do you this is your second year, so COVID didn't affect you. So you've just got 2 years of eligibility left?
Got 2 more left next year, junior year and then senior year. So
yeah, definitely. It's good stuff.
yeah.
Well, I think unless you've got anything else you want to touch on here, kind of went through your whole career, where you're at, how everything's going this year. Do you have anything else you want to touch on?
Not really, no.
Yeah, I think we covered everything. Thanks for joining me on this episode of the podcast. It's good to get another Youper on. Always happy to have the local fellas on.
For sure.